EastEnders has revealed George Knight's brothers, and he is set to revisit the history and meet his long-lost family for the first time. Obviously, earlier in the year, when he was getting to know his new when he was getting to know what Eddie and Gloria did, he found this woman, I don't remember her name, Angela, who mentioned he has long-lost brothers. So that was a little thing left there, and now time will tell. It's like I said, I did a whole preamble because we had to re-record this because Digital Spy there's a dodgy article where they confuse the actors. So
racist.
It's been interesting. It's been interesting how they've slowly built more into the Knight family, where it started off with just George, Elaine, Anna, and Gina, and Tyson, of course. And through time, you bring back the Beals in, so you now have this like Beal Knight family, which I'd argue kind of harkens back to the Beal Fowler type dynamic in classic EastEnders, where they were very intertwined. And they added Cindy, which added the Beals in there, and now they're adding George's brothers, which is going to be interesting to see how this works. Obviously, there's a lot of history. Because I'm sure the brothers had to deal with losing both parents that George never knew. And maybe they haven't processed it too well. It'll be interesting to see how they bed in. But yeah, let's read into the article. Already done that bit. EastEnders will introduce George Knight's brothers in a new story. BBC has confirmed that Deo Kalesho and Jonathan Nyati will be appearing in EastEnders as George continues to explore his identity. Vic Barman has recently learned that his adoptive father, Eddie Knight, prevented him from reuniting with his biological parents by killing his biological father. As George looked into his past, he was devastated to learn from his parents' friend Angela that his biological mother recently died. Angela is set to return to Walford in upcoming scenes, this time bringing George's brothers. I believe they messed it up this time. So from what I've learned, and I've looked it up specifically, Kojo is the bald fella on the right, and Kobina, played by Jonathan Nyat, is on the left with a man with hair. That's how I've read into it. This article gets a bit confusing. They kind of mix it up, the names, but that is it's interesting to see. But yeah, that's just got a bit confusing, and as we'll read on, it gets a bit confusing in here. But I've done the fucking digging, and I have figured out that Kojo is played by Dio Kalesho, who is the bald fella on the right. George ultimately agrees to take care of his brother Kojo in Walford when Kobina is overwhelmed and returns to Ghana. Character Kojo is autistic and will be played by neurodivergent actor Kalesho. So, producer Chris Glenshaw has teased that the three brothers will have a lot of complex emotions to come to terms with after being torn apart by tragedy. It's been absolutely amazing. I've been loving every minute of working with the cast and crew. It's an incredible storyline for Kojo and his family, Kalesha said. It is a dream that's become reality. There are many surprises, and I'm taking every opportunity to work creatively with other talented actors. His new co-star Nyati said, "I'm really honoured to appear in EastEnders, a British soap that I grew up watching religiously. Excited to be part of George's storyline and his on-screen family. I can't wait for the viewers to be introduced to Kobina and his little brother Kojo as they arrive in Albert Square for the first time." Kalesho will be appearing on EastEnders on a full-time basis going forward, while Nyati is set to have a short stint on the soap. So there we are. That's some news. I mean, first we can just talk about how now we are going to have an autistic actor, well, a neurodivergent actor, I should probably say, on the show, and an autistic character on the show. Notice how we've recently incorporated the Barney's actor, who is also an actor, a neurodivergent actor. And people have been kind of wondering if they are going to make the Barney character neurodivergent as well. It'll be interesting to see if there are some parallels to like an older person with autism and a younger character with autism? Will there be some form of connection there? Who knows? It's also an interesting one because I saw a lot of complaints back when they added Junior, Monique, and Xavier, where they were complaining that the Knight families are already too bloated, they're not developing new characters. But as said before, we're only introducing one longer running character, and don't kind of, I will say, don't quickly get caught up in this because you know who else were also short-term characters? Eddie and Gloria. You know who else was short-term characters? Stevie. Like, just because it's a short stint, we've seen this year so far that they can put some absolute fucking performances on. So, and obviously it'll be bring up a lot of grief. There's been a lot of tragedy surrounding George's parents. And we'll get to both see George, a man who wanted to be there and wanted to be able to experience it, versus the brothers who did experience it and do know what happened and what went wrong. So yeah, what do you think about it?
I'm looking forward to it. I really am. I'm looking forward to it. I love in the photograph that the guy on the on George's left is he just looks so happy to be there. He looks so happy, and I'm so happy for him. I do love. I do. Where is the fucking quote? Where is the quote? I really love this. That and I think Natty said. Sorry, guys, I'm bad at pronouncing words.
Yeah.
I love. Right, I just want to read this again because I fucking. This feels like he's been held hostage. I am really honoured to appear in EastEnders, a British soap that I grew up watching religiously.
Everybody says it. Everybody says that fucking line.
Nobody
says they watch it anymore. They said, "Oh yeah, I used to watch it when I grew up."
I did watch the fucking show when I grew up. It was fucking shite, lad.
Wow, really, really loved the show when I was growing up. Yeah, did you stay watching? Nah, nah, not really.
How much you pay me again? Oh, I did stay watching it. That's fun, isn't it? How time works.
But it truly is.
Time is a flat circle.
It's, everyone keeps rolling with it. But yeah, so the key points is George will have a new long-term brother, and he'll obviously have to learn how to. Plus, you also have Ollie as well, who is a character with autism. So it'll be also interesting to see if George can adjust to how he'll probably treat Ollie versus how he'll treat Kojo in this sense, as it's two completely different cases. But introducing a big character at the heart of the show, and we have seen that Clenshaw has been incorporating different characters from different backgrounds, incorporated Penny, who is in a wheelchair, and is now getting a big focus and a big involvement. It's kind of like an interesting turning of the tides, I guess, where we're seeing a lot more actors and people from different backgrounds to actually fulfill the roles, rather than just being like, all right, I've got this new character. Yeah, they're going to be played by insert random normal actor. It's just interesting to see how these different, how, in this case, neurodiversity is going to be portrayed on screen. And as someone who does have autism, it will also be interesting to see how it's portrayed. Because obviously autism is a spectrum. I don't think any autistic person is the same. There are some of the same tendencies. There are a lot of the same views, but like one of my brothers has autism. We're similar in some ways, completely different in others. It'll be interesting to see how it's portrayed on the screen. So, yeah, do you have anything else to add to this?
Like being gay, you're on a spectrum, It's all about being on a spectrum. I think he was autistic. He's probably not autistic. But I had a friend who was in the other classes. I don't want to say what we called them in school, but the special classes, basically. And the only thing I remember from him, and I still call him a mad dad for it. I know he had a few screws loose, but I don't care. He ran through a glass door and was all cut up. He ran through a glass door at 8 years old.
Jesus.
I don't have the balls to do that. I know he probably didn't mean to do it because mental, health and everything. But Jesus fucking Christ, it's always when I hear autistic, I just think of, I think his name was Adon. I just think of him just running through the glass door, coming in covered in bandages, being like, he couldn't say anything, so he's just lad, fucking lad. But yeah, that's what I remember. There's a fun story to end it on. And just remember, Piggy is a 5-year-old child because he laughed whenever Ash mentioned Neo the Virgin, because haha, virgin's in it. And Piggy finds it cool, finds it funny, because he's a child. Just remember that. So we'll see you in the next one. Bye bye.